Hey, Mortgage Coach community, Dave Savage here, and I am with Ben Johnston in Roseville, California. Is that
That's
right?
right.
Yeah, right
Roseville,
on.
California, Sacramento.
Right on. Well, I love talking, bringing new blood into the industry. You know, you've only been in the business for 2 full years, going on your third year. So, congrats on making it to, I think, based off your production level, you've made it, brother. Uh,
Thank,
you know,
thank
closing
you.
almost 8 loans a month consistently, and you're on your third year. So, you are a sustainable, top producing mortgage professional.
Well, thank you for that. Thank you for that. I'm excited to keep it going.
Yeah, well, I met you at the RPM sales rally this year, and a couple things really distinguished you. It became rather obvious how committed, how excited you are about the business, your passion. It became rather obvious that you use technology wisely. So I'd love to just talk about what you're doing, how you're doing it, and how you use a mortgage coach. So I guess let's start with that. Being someone that's new to the business, why do you use mortgage coach and how do you use mortgage coach, and let's see where it goes from there.
Yeah, absolutely. So it's really a big part of my process just because um, I use technology to try to scale my exposure in any way that I can. So we all have the same amount of hours in the day. Um, Anything that I can use to scale myself, I do. So like through social media, I market to real estate agents through social media to gain more exposure with less effort. And then also through the sales process using Mortgage Coach, it just allows me to do more in my day by leveraging that technology.
Now, when you think of the different kinds of strategies you can do, I know you do a lot, how you use the total cost analysis with realtors. If you could share some of the most common mortgage coach strategies that you present to agents and how you present to them, so that would be great.
Yeah, so I try to get in front of my agents on a weekly basis and bring them something of value. So Mortgage Coach has helped a lot, like the total cost analysis for the cost of waiting. My demographic here and kind of part of my target market is a lot of first-time homebuyers, and so being able to share with an agent a detailed breakdown of how that client's going to be affected if they do wait a year to buy a house, it's really valuable because we can talk about it all we want, but really seeing it in a good format, it's awesome for the agent. They love it because they didn't have to build it. It's
Right.
good for me because I'm providing value, so they come back to me for that. And so that's been huge this year. Again, with first-time homebuyers, um, showing a breakdown of loans just side by side. Again, we can talk about different down payments and different interest rates, but really seeing all the benefits is super helpful for them.
And how often are you adding a video to it or using the live feature, creating some interaction with the total cost analysis?
So going back to what I was saying about trying to use the technology to scale myself time-wise, sharing the screen at the same time and having a common focal point is extremely valuable. If I was sitting down and physically meeting with people and traveling each day, there would be a cap on how many people I could physically meet with. By using the presentation, if I have a call scheduled, I can send the presentation ahead of time. That way, their questions are more targeted when we talk, and we have a common focal point looking at the total cost analysis, highlighting screens, really breaking down what they're looking at, helps me build a relationship with them, and they have the numbers right in front of them. There's not all these questions in their head of, well, how much are the closing costs? What's the interest rate? It shows them the monthly payment, the down payment, the interest rate, the APR. It's just, it really helps build that relationship, in my opinion.
Well, I love that. And I love how before this call, you were telling me how you use your iPad. If you could describe how you're using your iPad to drive time efficiencies and efficiencies with your agents.
Yeah, definitely. So I actually upgraded and bought a new iPad earlier this year just because we're doing a lot of things to be more mobile centric, more on the go, but efficient at the same time. So having the Mortgage Coach app available on the iPad, if I'm in between meetings and I need to pop into a Starbucks to build a total cost analysis, it's really valuable to just be able to do that step by step on the mobile and just send it out and then come back to it later if I need to. So I really like being able to access that system from the desktop and on the go through mobile, to make quick changes or whatever we need to do.
And do you use your mobile device at all as a presentation tool, either to realtors or open houses? So are you doing anything from a presentation standpoint with it?
I do, yeah. So I'm trying to make it a habit to bring it with me more and more. But like, for example, in an open house, typically I'll get the property information ahead of time, build out a loan comparison, maybe rent versus own, whatever the case may be, whatever the price point of the home is. And then I'll have that available to have in the kitchen, in case somebody has financing questions. I can easily show them the presentation, email them a copy. And again, it makes the agent feel good because part of my target demographic is millennials and tech forward people. So having that available makes the agent look good, makes me look good, and it's just really good, tangible thing to have when it comes to the loan comparison.
Yeah, no doubt. You didn't happen to hear the interview I did recently. I did a Skype interview with Nicole Solari, top agent in Napa Valley. Are you familiar?
Yeah. I try to watch the weekly ones. I believe I did see that.
Yeah, well, I interviewed her on a Skype interview, and by the way, I'm going to put a link to that below. So she is a top realtor. I mean, closing like a house a day, so she's got a big team. She's killing it.
Right.
And open houses are her number one strategy. And so she was talking about how she's using an iPad as an agent at open houses. And then she was referred by Jeremy Forcier, a top mortgage coach. And in that call, we talked about how the agent's using the iPad, how the loan officer should be using the iPad. Anyways, you might want to check it out. And I'll put a link below. So if you're watching this right now, you're watching it in YouTube. Look below this video. There'll be a link to that interview with Nicole. It was really good. Also, I would love to get a sample of your rent versus own and maybe a cost of waiting analysis. So if you wouldn't mind emailing a couple samples that we could share with the mortgage coach community, would you be cool with that?
Yeah, absolutely. I actually just did one. We had a first-time homebuyer class at a RE/MAX office locally. And so we actually put it up on the big screen, and then we printed some PDF copies to hand out to people that attended the class too. So I'll send you that one. It's an entry-level price point for Sacramento, but really, really good contrast between now and buying a year from now.
So time out. So you did a home buyer seminar. You had the rent versus own on the big screen. It was part of your educational experience.
Mm-hmm.
You had handouts. How many folks showed up to it?
I think we had about 10.
Nice.
Yeah, about 10. We had an insurance agent that joined us, and then the realtor also. So we kind of joined together to invite the folks in through different avenues, did some ads on Facebook and things like that. But it was a good turnout. I was able to reference the big screen, and then they had the handouts in their hand. They actually had a rent versus own, and then the cost of waiting as well as two separate presentations.
Love it. I interview a lot of top producers. Dan Keller out of the Seattle market uses Mortgage Coach effectively at first-time homebuyer events, and I would just recommend that you have the handouts, but also try to drive the mobile experience. So you're literally saying, "Hey, I can do this rent versus own for you," and there's a couple ways that you can get them the link at the event. Either one, you could do it upon request. You could literally text it to them, or you could send it before the event so that literally it's like, hey, I have a sample rent versus own that we sent out to you as preparation for the event. But I do recommend that when you do those events, to get everybody to download the app, get everybody to have a rent versus own, kind of a generic one. And then obviously you want to turn that into their own personal total cost analysis and rent versus own. So just a thought definitely for the next one, Ben.
Yeah, sounds great.
Yeah, well, make sure you get a picture of it, man. I would love to, you know, we've got our Mortgage Coach Instagram page, and we're always looking for, you know, our app running wild in the market. So next time you're having a mobile conversation, please take a picture and tag us. I'd love to see how you're using our apps in the marketplace.
Yeah, absolutely. Mortgage Coach times Lend Pro.
Love it, man. Love it. You've already got a headline there.
Yeah.
So, so if you're watching this video and you're getting value from it, you know, like us, share us with your friends. I always look to get scripts. So, are you saying anything to your families to get them to download the app or to increase the chances that they click on the Mortgage Coach report? Is there any scripting that you have that enhances the, hey, I asked you great questions, I provided you with a total cost analysis? Anything you're saying or doing to drive that experience?
So when I talk about setting the presentation, I just preface it that, hey, I'm going to send you a really cool interactive loan comparison. It's probably different than anything that you've ever seen. There's a few different options in there, so feel free to get in and click around. If you have any questions, you know, we'll obviously have a follow-up phone call. And then when I actually send the total cost analysis, I'll send the hyperlink in an email, but I have a pre-built email signature in my Outlook that explains, hey, if you open this email on a mobile device, you'll be prompted to download the app. Go ahead and follow those steps, and then it'll bring you right in. So I try to give as much heads up on exactly how the process will go, and typically people don't have any trouble getting in and checking them out.
Yeah, no, when I talk to top producers, 90% of the people to 100% click on it, they get the value, they get the app experience, and I thought your scripting was great. You know, it was tailored to your clientele. It's interactive. It's like nothing you've ever seen before. So great scripting, my friend. So Ben, as we wrap up this call, is there any other advice you have for the Mortgage Coach community? Any other thoughts or wisdom that might help people be more successful with a mortgage coach?
Yeah, so you know what, just use it. I mean, I've had it available and made a goal to use it more and more and more, and I just keep getting great feedback the more I use it. So yeah, I mean, it's a huge tool. I mean, if your company pays for it, if you have access to it, use it. Especially, I'm kind of seeing, again, I'm a little bit newer, but the overall experience of our buyers, everything's mobile, everything's tech savvy. So having a tool that they can use, it really impresses people. And I don't think I really grasped that as much in the beginning, but now that I'm using it more and more, just getting great feedback. And yeah, if you have it, just use it.
Beautiful, my friend. Well, hey, thanks for taking time to share with the community. Look forward to
Absolutely.
getting a photo from you and more success stories. So keep it coming, and I can't wait to hear, especially with you as someone who is so tech savvy, how you're using your iPad, how you're using your mobile device with agents. Try to be intentional and report back to us. Sound good?
Yeah, absolutely, man. Sounds great.
Take care, man.
All right, good talking with you.